Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Sam George, why are you encouraging Ghanaians to basically come along with you to have their SIM cards registered? Those who were alive to see what happened in 2010, where under the Mills regime, I believe it was Haruna Idris, who was then the communications minister, who was encouraging us to do the same. We saw that of Ursula as well. That must have been from 2021 to 2023. And we're back again with the same request to Ghanaians to get their SIM cards registered, I believe from June this year. Why?
Thank you, More. This has been one of the most difficult things I've had to personally deal with, and it's part of the reason. If you watch my vetting, at my vetting I was asked about this, and I said we will do it as a policy direction. I said we will have to redo the SIM registration, because don't forget I had been one of the loudest critics of the SIM registration exercise Owusu did. I didn't criticize it because it was Ursula, and I've seen a lot of that. I didn't criticize it because it was NPP. I criticized it because I said the process was not going to deliver a biometrically verified SIM register. I've been justified. When you read Ursula's 2-page response that she issued last week, she admits in her statement that what was left was biometric verification. She claimed she had done Ghana card linkage, but what was left was biometric verification. The question we must ask ourselves, what did we set out to do with the SIM registration in 2021 to 2023? What we set out to do was to do a biometrically verified SIM register. So if the minister who was responsible has issued a 2-page statement, and in that statement, she admits that there was no biometric verification done, and she claims that that was supposed to be a phase 3. It tells you that the exercise that was conducted did not meet the purpose for which it was set out to achieve. And that's what we opposed. And I understand the politics of this. I understand the need for some of our friends to want to spin and skew. It's fine. I'm simply walking my talk. The very things I complained about, today, by the grace of God and by providence, I sit in the chair that has the mandate to fix those problems. I'm not going to come back and complain and say, look, our SIM register is not biometrically verified. I will fix it, because I take a cue from my president. President Muhammad does not whine about the problems, he fixes them. And so in fixing it, we have to do a new register. And the reasons are very simple. Today, the very people, some of the very people who I have seen on social media say, we shouldn't do the registration, some judges are worrying us, are the very same people I have seen complain about mobile money fraud. Sister Nie, if referee London, my Sunday.
It's not the fraudsters are there in there.
You know, and it is to deal with all of those, because today when you complain, we are unable to identify who exactly it is who's holding that SIM. Because, and that's what my predecessor still seems not to get, and the choir behind her. Linking a Ghana card based on the bio data to a SIM card does not mean that you have biometrically verified the ownership of that.
Why not?
So the bio data is simply first name, last name, date of birth, age, or date of birth, height. You know, those are the things on the face of the card. Now, anybody at all who has a Laminex card printing machine can print that card and give you details.
True.
All the person needs is a valid Ghana card number. And when we met with the media, and I had a stakeholder engagement at the NTA with the media, we showed them evidence of this. We showed them 2 Ghana cards that had been authenticated under the ESLA system as valid registrations.
Okay.
So, you know, we did a sample of 2 million, about 2 million cards. Now, of those 2 million cards, about 1.8 said verified per her system. Now, when we decided to drill down to authenticate those 1.8, we saw several instances, and we showed them the card, 2 of the cards at the meeting at the NCA. All the person needed was to get, more, all I need is to get your Ghana card, your real Ghana card, and pick your Ghana card number. That's all I need. I can create 20 more fake cards that the system will accept.
Wow.
Why? Because when you look at the 2 cards, all that the ESLA system did was when you entered your Ghana card number, it just confirmed and linked that Ghana card number to the SIM card. But what makes your card authentic and any clone I will do fake is that when I run the biometrics, which are stored against your Ghana card and the number in a biometric test environment, that's the only way I can verify that your card is authentic. Just mere looking at the number on the card cannot verify that that card is authentic. Because again, like I said, I can print multiple cards with the same number, different names, different photos, and that's what we showed to the people. We showed them 2 cards with the same Ghana card number that went through as verified under the ESLA system. The photograph of the gentleman was different. First name and last name were different. Date of birth was different. But the system had passed it. And that's why I cannot take that set of data today and just say I'm migrating it onto a new database. What I'll be doing is migrating the inefficiencies and flaws of the failed system of my predecessor. And that's why we all have to do this afresh.
Wow.
Because you see, the only thing on your Ghana card that makes it a unique identifier is not the number, it's the biometrics.
Right.
Either your fingerprint, which was collected by contact, not contactless. And so because it was collected by contact, you would need to verify it by contact. I've seen some techniques say, oh, you can convert the contactless into a digital identity. Look, please. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. It's the same reason why when you submitted your details to the Electoral Commission, you did a biometric contact registration.
Right.
They scan your fingerprints. And that's why when you need to vote, you go there and put your finger on a biometric device, verification device, a BVD. It's contact as well. So you cannot say that you've asked people to use multiple different phones with different camera specifications to take photographs of fingerprints. And then you ask us to match those against contact fingerprints that were taken.
Right.
So it's either the fingerprint or the facial contours, the facial recognition, which the NIA took. And that's what we've chosen to do. We've chosen to do this new system. And because convenience and comfort of the customer and the citizen is critical, the president has been very clear to me. He said, Sam, you will only be allowed to do this if the Ghanaian people are not put through the hassle and discomfort that they went through in 2021 to 2023. Many people are still suffering from the trauma of that.
Yeah.
He said, you won't be allowed to do this. And it was a hard sell through cabinet, I can tell you.
Really?
Because everybody, we had multiple meetings. In fact, the subcommittee of cabinet invited CSOs into the meeting for me to do a presentation to them to convince them.
Wow.
That's how far cabinet took this, to ensure that we had dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's. This process is such that, or you have a smartphone, you will use your own smartphone to do your own registration. And anybody who's bought a smartphone before and you can use your face to unlock your phone. How do we do that? When you buy the phone, you are asked to register your face on your phone. And that is what every time you use your face to look in your phone, it takes a scan of your face and confirms against the biometric you've stored on your phone. That's basically what we're doing. So the system is going to be such that you'll be able to connect directly with the NIA's database. We are not going to take any biometric. In the ESLA case, she took biometrics and stored them using a third party. We are not taking anybody's biometrics. We're simply doing a real-time test. So there are no offline registrations in our case. Because you must do the verification in real time. Verify against the NIA's database. Once the facial recognitions match, it will send you an OTP, for you to enter and register that number as your primary number.
Okay.
Now, once you register as your primary number, what it then means is if you have multiple numbers, every time you try to register any other SIM of yours, it will send an OTP for verification to your primary number. So nobody can then use your Ghana card to register. Because if anybody tries to use your Ghana card, once you've set up your primary number, when the person tries to do the registration, what happens is it sends an OTP to you, the owner of the original phone.
Yeah.
You need to confirm that OTP before that other registration will go.
Okay.
Now, the other thing we're doing here, which is different from what Ursula did, is we're building a central equipment identity register. Now, what that does is it allows us to take all the IMEIs, which are like the unique DNA fingerprints of every device in the country, allows us to match the IMEI of every device to the SIM in the card. So we know that Moru's number is this. This is a SIM number. We know that this is his device he's using. And we also do a third leg of it, which is a linkage to your Ghana card.
Okay.
So now for the first time, you're having a tripartite linkage. The SIM, the device, and the Ghana card. So we have a 360-degree view of every citizen who's using a platform. Now, what that does for us is, for those involved in mobile money fraud, if the complaint is made and it is verified, the SIM is blocked immediately. Not just the SIM, the device as well.
Okay.
I keep saying that today the cost of mobile money fraud is 10 Ghana cedis. That's the cost of a new SIM. Because even if we block the SIM, the person just throws that SIM out, goes to the next telco shop, buys a new SIM card for 10 cedis, and is back in business.
Yeah.
But now I would be able to have the team at the NCA not just block your SIM, but block your device as well. Okay. So now it means for you to come back into business, you have to buy a new phone. So you've increased the cost for the person. But beyond that, if a Ghana card which is linked, so a number is determined to have been engaged in mobile money fraud, the SIM is blocked, the device is blocked, the Ghana card becomes flagged. So the Ghana card is now flagged. We have like a color coding thing. So your Ghana card and everything is fine, it's green.
Right.
Once it's flagged, it's yellow. Once a Ghana card is yellow, and then we on our system, and then another SIM that is linked to that Ghana card is reported for fraud again. So 2-strike system. First strike, your Ghana card is flagged yellow. Once you have a second strike, what happens is we block that second SIM, block the second device, but this time, on the second time, we move your Ghana card from yellow to red, which means that your Ghana card is blacklisted across all platforms. And what the NIA is doing, because we're working with the NIA, is that it means that everywhere you use your Ghana card, be it for banking, healthcare, driver's license, everything you do with your Ghana card, you cannot, anywhere you go and you present your Ghana card, it's blocked.
So that's serious.
Yes. That's the price people must pay.
You don't have a life.
Yes. Because if you've chosen to engage in a life of fraud, we will fight you with the power of the state. And that's what we're doing here.
Right.
And so you would realize that individuals will realize that high risk. And that's why I've been raising the case and making the plea to people, please don't register for someone you don't know, who is not your dependent.
Yeah.
Because if you register for someone and the person uses it in fraud, you would lose your life, literally. Yeah. Because your Ghana card is also your TIN number. And so your taxes, your healthcare, your driver's license, you lose all of that. You've literally been blacklisted in the country. And so, but it's a difficult decision we've taken, and it's a step we've taken to sanitize the system. And so for me, I keep saying that, except you are a beneficiary of the fraud in the system, this is not something you will fight. But for me, the greatest part of this is the fact that you can do this on your own. You don't need to go anywhere. And more, in 2021-2023, the NIA and the NCA and the ministry did not work together.
Right.
Again, Owusu admits to that in her statement. She says that, yes, she had disagreements. Thankfully, every step of the way, Engineer Edmond Fianco, who is my Director General at the NCA, has been lockstep and movement with the Executive Secretary, Mr. Yaira Kuku, of the NIA. But not just there. We've been working with the ORC, the Office of Registrar of Companies. We've been working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We've been working with the Ghana Immigration Service, the Ghana Police Service, Data Protection Commission, Cybersecurity. It's a multiplicity of agencies we're working with. Right. So you have the whole government machinery backing this process and speaking seamlessly. There are no ego trips here. There are no issues, personal issues affecting the possibility for citizens to do this. Another thing that you had in the previous time was you had a Ghana card penetration at the time of about just 60%.
Yeah.
So you now had people having to go and queue to get Ghana cards. And the whole country, we had only 7 centers that were issuing Ghana cards at the time. Today, we have 294 centers. You have a over 90% penetration of Ghana card. With what we're doing, we're even going to convert our post offices. Our post offices are going to have support centers, a desk to help people register in remote communities. Okay. So you go to a CIC or you go to a post office, there's a team there. We're setting out mobile teams with the MNOs. And the beauty of the mobile team is the mobile teams are going out to do the registration of the SIM card, but the NIA has embedded registration teams in our mobile teams. Okay. So if you don't have a Ghana card, you meet the mobile team, they do a Ghana card for you, and then in real time, register your SIM for you. Okay. So this is a well thought through process that we will not see. And for those who have to, for some reason, show up at a shop, there's a booking system. The way you book for your passport, appointment for passports or for visas, you book. So you don't just have 1,000 people show up at the shop and the place is crowded. You go based on your appointment. And so we've thought through this. I'm confident. I keep saying that the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. The same way when I tried to explain how what we're done with DSTV will benefit people, and people said, oh, they didn't realize it until people started paying reduced subscriptions and seeing that, oh, I'm paying half of what I used to pay, but I'm getting more. Now people appreciated what we did. It's the same way when we start the process, hopefully in the 3rd quarter of this year, because again, I want to make sure that there's a legal backing for what I'm doing. So I'm laying an LI before Parliament. Okay. I'll lay it in May when Parliament comes, returns in May. It will take 21 days, which will take us to about the end of June. After that, working with our partners, the MNOs, we'll roll out the process. And I'm confident that when people see that technology is being used to give them comfort and convenience, they'll appreciate the work that the Mahama Reset Agenda is doing relative to SIM registration.
So trust the process.
Absolutely.
And this will certainly be the last time, based on everything you said. I don't see us doing this again.
Again, Moro, I keep
because
saying that.
It's very comprehensive.
And Moro, I keep saying that, no, this will definitely be the last time we have to do this. But don't forget, this will be the last time we'll do a mass registration. Right. Registrations will be ongoing. Because, and Moro, I have seen videos, people have shared clips of the CEO of the Chamber of Telecoms on a number of platforms speaking about this process and giving credit to the NCA and the ministry for the process we've gone through. I urge people to go back to 2021 and see what the CEO at the time said about the process. They had issues. They raised questions. The reason why I haven't laid my LI has been ready since December last year. The reason I haven't laid it before Parliament up till now is because I'm waiting on the chamber. I'm working with the telecom companies. They've gone, they made their inputs, they come back, we have a negotiation, a discussion on it. We are doing proper stakeholder engagement. So we're carrying them along. So they know everything we're doing. So I keep saying that the processes are different. This is different from when the minister sat in the ministry, even ignored the direct, the advice, technical advice from the technocrats. Look, this process, I've given policy direction. But technical direction has come from the NCA. And the things that we've been told from the NCA, that's going to make this process as seamless as possible. It's not new people we brought to the NCA. It's the same old people. The DG of the NCA today was Director of Engineering in 2021-23. Yes. They made the same recommendations they've made to me. That is giving us such a seamless process were made to my predecessor, but were ignored. Wow. And so what you have is a listening government that is awake to the need to protect the citizens, but not discomfort them in the process of protecting the citizens. So this time, the technocrats are doing their work. We're just guiding the process with policy and ensuring that the right thing is done for the Ghanaian people.
Now, somebody says, how will those using young phones register?
There's a USSD approach as well. Okay. So there's a USSD code that allows you to do the process. And then you also then have to use one of our mobile centers or our CICs to do the biometric verification. But all of that's been factored in as well.
Reverend Jones Latte, who's watching us from England in the United Kingdom, says, please tell Jata that when I registered my SIM, I provided my Ghana card. My understanding is that the Ghana card contained my biometrical details.
So yes, the card doesn't, it's not like the biometrics are sitting on the fiscal card.
Right.
So, Reverend, when you provided your card, what should have happened is that the MNO in real time should have, when they purported to have taken your fingerprints, they should have matched it in real time against the fingerprint database at the NIA. That was not done. So that's why I'm saying that there's a big difference between biodata and biometrics. When people take your biodata and match it against that one, anybody at all can generate the biodata. But the biometrics are unique, and that's why the biometric is held by a state institution.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that verification was not done. And that's the problem. But you see, the beauty of this is, Reverend, you're in the UK. The app is available on Android and iOS when we roll it out. It would allow you, irrespective of geography, to do your registration. So you don't need to, previously, people had to travel to come to Ghana just to come and register their SIMs. You don't need to do that. Stay where you are, use the app, and register. So people will not lose, like you saw people lose their money in their Momo wallets because they couldn't come down.
Yeah.
No, please, your comfort is paramount to President Mahama and the ministry. Stay where you are. If you want to come and visit Ghana for something else, please, you are welcome to come. But you can always say, our students who are outside, students who did the registration and now are schooling outside, they don't need to come back.
Yeah.
All of those people lost their numbers in the last registration.
Yeah.
What we've done, we're creating a platform that would allow them, irrespective of where they are, all you need is your Ghana card detail. Once you enter your Ghana card detail, wherever you are, you'll be able to register.
You know, for me, what excites me, Sam George, about this is the Momo fraudsters. You know, just recently, I don't know whether you saw it. What's the name?
Jocelyn Dumas.
And she was complaining about how somebody had, you know, stolen her money from a Momo account, and she was asking the authorities to do something about it.
You see, there are times when working with state, it is. There are times when working with state security, we've tracked a number based on the registration.
Yeah.
And more, you end up doing the tracking with the Ghana card detail associated to it, and you go and find there's a 73-year-old bedridden man in some village, in some region somewhere. Clearly, that was not the person engaged in mobile fraud. Somebody used his Ghana card to do the registration. And so you hit dead ends. And that's why we need, but like I'm saying, once we do this process and we do it right, anybody who tries to do mobile money fraud will be able to identify the person, the device they use, will be able to geolocate them. We will fight it in such a way that it will be a very unattractive enterprise for people to engage in.
Okay.
So that's why we need to do this. You know, and you know, not just Joycelyn speaking about it. There are businesses that have been cloned.
Yeah.
There's a very top restaurant in Accra who called me and said, even when you go on Google and you enter the name of that restaurant, it takes you to a fraudster's page, even though they have their own official page they had created with their number. And so people are calling. So they said in the restaurant there, then people show up. I made an order and you asked me to pay upfront for the order. I said, we didn't receive a call from you because there's a clone page. People have called, placed the order, and then they tell you to guarantee your order, transfer money to this number. And it's happening to a number of businesses. We will be able to clamp down on all of those when we do this process.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.